Hi everyone, how's it going? I hope you're all doing well. I'm gonna share something special with you today, and that is about 7 pathways to being an excellent educator. So if you're really looking for to have very special faculty profile, you're gonna follow these all pathways so that you can be known as an excellent educator. I'm gonna explain these all to you, these all proposed pathways to you. So if you're doing something, I'm sure you might be doing loads of good things in your life, but there are certain things which are updated which you need to use them as building blocks that can add something special to your career, which you do have right now. So let's see. Number one, your degree plus certifications. You need both of them. If you have one of them, I feel it's a bit limited in depth. So you have to add something special with the current relevant certifications. So if you're a PhD in finance, that's a great thing. But have you done relevant certifications with that? That can authenticate, that can validate the knowledge which you do have. So if you have a PhD in finance, for example, then you have a CPA, you have a CFA, you have SCCA, whatever the current certification you do have in that particular field will add something special in your profile, and you have more authentic profile you can tell them. If you're a PhD in human resource management, just a PhD, and then you don't have relevant certifications, still you are very limited in depth. So you got to have some relevant certifications to show how much authenticate you are in your profile. Imagine, I'm going to give you one example. Imagine somebody has done PhD in 1985, or somebody has done PhD in 1995, and today we are in 2025. The PhD was 1995, and today how many tools, research tools changed? How much data set to be changed? How many process changed? That's a great thing you have done, but things are not added. Those things you can authenticate more when you have current certifications. If somebody has done PhD recently, like 2015 or 2020, that's okay because you're still current. But those people who've done 20 years before, they need a great certification to authenticate that. I'm not opening a debate over here, but this is what I feel, that when you walk into the class, when you talk in the meetings, when you have something that you got degree, how many things you have updated into that? So you have to let people know that this was the idea I did long time ago, and these are the things are totally changed in my field. So I'm doing that relevant certification. So that's about your degree, your certification. I strongly believe that somebody has a degree with no certification. I believe it's kind of bit limited in depth. So you have to think about yourself, what kind of degree you do have. Even if you have an MBA or you have an MPhil, you have a PhD, whatever degrees you do have, you have to validate with the most modern certifications of your area. And if you're not done that one, you don't walk as an authenticated person in the class. Because that's what you believe that you can bring. The amount of knowledge, the modern plus the depth which you had, and you validated that with the modern certifications. So this is about your degree and your certifications. This is the number one pathway. What's number second? That's interesting. That's your teaching. I kind of hear things in my career that I have a teaching experience 15 years, 20 years. Just ask those people, oh, you got 20 years experience. What kind of research you have done in those 20 years? How many case studies you have written in your 20 years? How did you validate your teaching? What have you done for your teaching? If you've been just teaching for 20 years with no research and with no case studies, I'm really sorry to say that this is a dead wood. That's a dead wood in just teaching. We got to learn some modern tools. As I said in the first pathway, that the research tools that have been changed long time ago, or the teaching have been changed long time ago and today. So what are the new research papers you have written that you can utilize in your class? So how many of us that I have written research papers that I go to the class and utilize them? Few of them, definitely few of them, on management areas, human resource areas, or sustainability or leadership. Some of them I take it, but not all of them. So your research is very important, that you have done new approaches you can add into teaching. I'm sorry, I always say somebody who has 20 years teaching experience or 15 years teaching experience with no research, no cases, it's not known as 20 years. It's not known as 15 years. I believe it's just a 1 year, repeated 20 times. And hey, do you understand? So you got 1 year experience repeated 20 times, 15 times. Every year you're repeating same things. No, 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 don't go. So what you're supposed to do is, you are an excellent person in teaching. Great thing. How many research papers you have produced, and the research papers in your field, and how much you utilize those research papers in the classes, how many case studies you have written, how many case conferences you have attended that you learned the methods of everything. Ask yourself how many cases you contributed to the case center, how many cases you have written on IV publishing, how many cases you have written in North American Case Research Association, or what is the database you do have. When you have your own case, you walk into the class, you are more authoritative because this is a case you have written. You know the learning outcomes of that case. You know the teaching methodology of the case. You know the contents of that case you have written. So you walk into the class, you say, I'm going to discuss my case today. So yeah, that case which I have written, so I will utilize in my class. So the second pathway for you to being an excellent educator, refine your teaching, improve your teaching with some research papers. How many papers you have written on teaching methodologies? How many papers you have written on advising students? How many papers you have written on practical teaching? How many papers you have written on block teaching? How many papers you have written changing patterns of teaching? How many papers you have written higher educational patterns being changed, backward design, new design, tools, modern tools, the platform which you are using, how many things we have done in our life. So the second pathway for us is your teaching with your research cases, methods. So if somebody who says that I'm a case study teacher, that's a great thing. If you can teach cases, you can definitely write cases. If you write cases, you can definitely be an excellent teacher to teach cases in the classes because you got background. And if not, it's a questionable. If not, it's questionable. This is something which we have to think. What kind of person I am that I'm going to the class? What impact I can bring to my class without research and without cases? I'm not saying we don't have cases available. We have a huge repository of Harvard in every university we do have. How many faculty members in your university, they have contributed the teaching research, the papers related to the teaching methods? If they've done, great job. If not, no problem. They can start anytime they want. But that all responsibility goes to the university, that you support your faculty member and they can produce some more research and more case-based methods. So don't be that wood and just teaching. Learn more modern tools so that you can add special thing in the teaching. You can bring a great impact to your students, and they'll be very happy. We'll be happy. University will be happy because you achieve program learning outcomes and you achieve the course learning outcomes as well. You got it? So this was the second pathway to being an excellent educator. Let's see what is number 3. Wow. Number 3 is about your contribution, your value addition. So here is value addition. This depends on the practical activities in the classes. Apart from all fixed teaching you do have, you should arrange some guest speaker sessions. You bring some industry experts to your class. You should arrange some students conferences, symposiums. You take your student to other universities as well for going some case competitions or some research competitions, undergrad research competitions, or maybe other competitions which are teaching related or learning related. So this is your contribution. So show some visible impact that students had visited that one and they brought this one. And you ask them to report what they have done with that contribution. So that contribution will show that you are very active teacher. You show some sense of ownership with the job you're doing. This is related to the teaching, but your contribution to the university as well. For example, you do research, you do excellent teaching, your contribution, you arrange these industry visits and all that. This will help and add value to the university accreditation files. So if you are helping university, you're showing something special, so that add to the university accreditation criteria. That will add value to the university. And if you're a senior in the university, you can mentor other people. That's also your contribution. So the third pathway for you to being an excellent educator, that you contribute your value addition to the university in form of producing something special that has impact on university, doing something special in teaching that has a pass rate impact in the students' feedback, that has the impact of employability. That contribution I'm talking about. So there are various, your job as a teacher, your job as a faculty, definitely, and then your job as an employee, where you have to show sense of ownership to them that you're doing this. This is the one which can bring visible impact to the university. So this was number 3. Let's see what's number 4. Wow. Your goals, your deadlines. You got to set rational deadlines. Goal setting. Every year before you start a block, before you start a term, before you start the session, you have to do some goal setting for your professional work. As we do for teaching, for example, I'm assigned these modules to teach in the next year. So those modules have written that, okay, these are the modules I taught last time. So I want to add something. I want to update this module. So I'm doing some of the goal setting with that. That's about my teaching. The goal setting for my research, I'm doing it. Or I have to respond to the authorities as well. Set realistic goals, which I'm doing. So those realistic goals, which I will set, rational goals, which I will set, I have a proper timeline. So it will not be burden I cannot come up with this one because I'm doing this one, I'm busy, I'm doing this one, I don't have a time. My rational deadlines, my rational goals will help me to be so organized that I'll be ready. I'll be ready for meetings. I'll be ready for extra things the university asked me to do. I'll be ready for mentoring process. I'll be ready for personal tutoring. I'll be ready for my own goals. I'll be ready for my research as well. Mostly in teaching universities where they don't focus on the research, don't think that they don't focus on the research. They focus. When the time will come, they will ask you what research you have done. Normally, they don't ask you that you do research or not, but that research is your own professional development. At the end of the day, you spend 5 years in one university and they didn't ask you to do research. But when you walk out from that university, what you carry with you? You carry just a teaching. So you got to carry with some research as well, don't you? So I'm saying you have to set rational deadlines for your career. You got it. This was number 4. And then we got number 5. That's about your responses to students and your colleagues. This is something, how do you deal with your students? You are a mentor, you are a parent, you are a teacher. Normally, students learn from you by watching you. If you become so polite, if you become so caring, if you're becoming so focused on your teaching, on your learning, and your caring, inclusive, you're taking all together, dealing with all people together, helping them with positive attitude. So I always say that if you have a great aptitude, you have a great knowledge, but you have a bit less positive attitude, it will impact your aptitude. But if you got a great aptitude with a beautiful attitude you do have, that's an amazing thing. And that amazing thing we need from a teacher, from a faculty member. This will also help you in advising, how effective advisor you are. Sometimes some students, they don't have how to find a teacher, but it's the job of the teacher to find that student. Why that student is not responding properly. Of course, we do have personal tutoring in different universities. We got system, but what you do, what plans you do have, as I said in number 4, your deadline. This advising will also come. You set the deadlines that I'm gonna meet with those students. I'm gonna meet with those students next week. I'm gonna meet with those students in the 3rd week of the block. So we have this advising stuff that we need to follow that. So your responses, your students, and your colleagues as well. So how you colleague, positive attitude you do have, mentoring attitude you do have. If somebody comes, if somebody walks in for any help and everything, do help, support them. There are lots of junior faculty members, early career people, they need support. Help them. They're really excited. And if you don't support them, they'll be just they'll stop doing whatever they good things they want to do in their life. So your response to students and to colleagues positively. You develop your best aptitude, your knowledge, your style, but then you got to deliver the same thing in a most positive manner. And that'll be remembered by everyone. So your responses will be noted, will be appreciated by them all. And quite a few times we talk in classes and I mentor people. You got a spark. You have a great spark of positive attitude you do have. You really want to spoil this because somebody doesn't have it? Why you got to disturb because somebody who has a bad attitude or somebody struggling with that? We need to help that person with that attitude, with the spark you do have. Nothing should affect my spark? You're positive. Whether you're positive, you mentor, you support people, that's it. And why I'm saying this will have a greater impact on your faculty, on your students. And as a whole, this will leave the best impression from the university as well. So this was about the advising and your response to your colleagues. Let's see what is coming next. Sixth, social media. Your presence on social media. Oh, you got so many things in your life. You know, I always teach that if somebody doesn't know you, it's not the fault of that person. It's your fault because you did not let people know that you're existing. So when you exist on social media, it means you have expertise. So you got to tell people that you exist. Social media is actually a space. It's your space. You have to occupy with your name. If you don't occupy, somebody else will take it. So that's a social. I'm not saying that all of the social media you do have, but if you're everywhere, you're nowhere, of course. But you gotta be the professional one with LinkedIn and all that. So your presence on social media is also considered professional in today's modern times. It adds value where you can comment something, where you can share some thoughts, where you can have a different opinion. You can put some guiding notes for some people. This is this is something that you will get noticed. Again, if you're being a teacher for so many years, you have not developed any single course on Coursera or Udemy, or you don't have any account on Teachable or YouTube. This is the modern thing which I started from the first pathway. The things are totally changed. We gotta occupy our space. We have to show our existence to the people. We are here to help. So we have to utilize these all. I have just mentioned quite a few over there: LinkedIn, Udemy, Coursera, YouTube, Teachable. But I think many others you can see from social media. They're all available, which is supposed to follow that. So this will also help you about your teaching. So this is sixth pathway. If you're not on social media, if you have not developed any good profile on LinkedIn, if you have not done in 15, 20 years on any one course on Udemy, any one module you have not prepared for Udemy, or you don't teach on YouTube, it means you're just doing teaching. So we should come out from that teaching. Now we have our teaching should be a global teaching. Why we always talk about global south and global north? We learn from global north. There are some global south universities, they're having good rankings and all that. So we need to exchange. Now it's a social media. Yeah, so these are very important things which I have just shared about the presence you do have. And then we have the seventh one: your updates and your CPDs, your memberships. Don't do everything, just focus on your expertise. And if you really want to be successful in your career, you got to think about it, about the professional development certifications you do have, some memberships you do have. Why membership updates are important? Because if you're a member of any good teaching association, they have a magazine, they have activities, they have symposiums, they have events. For example, we are a member of the Advanced HE. So they are having monthly or yearly some events where we can get some of the discounts and we can jump in and learn something new. And that happens with CMB as well, Certified Association for Business Schools. And many things like all of those membership, like European group, it goes you to have that membership as well. So they have also discounts, but it's not about the discounts, about the event that they are having with particular field you do have. So if you are a project management person, so you pay my memberships. If you're a marketing person, you're marketing members. If I'm an HR and management leadership person, so I have all leadership and human resource and management certifications plus memberships. That really adds me loads of things. I keep traveling around the world. I have these all memberships with me. So these accolades you carry yourself, it authenticates you that you got something about your own relevant field. That's what I was talking about. These all 7 pathways. So we have to focus on our expertise as well. That's a really important one. So these were 7 pathways which I have just listed here. Um, I'm sure you have done loads of good things in your career, many good things in your career. But if you follow these basic 7 pathways, which I have just mentioned, they will definitely add something special to being an excellent educator. So if you really want to build your career, a strong faculty profile, just have a look on them. Think about it. You might be doing loads of good things. You already might be doing these quite a few pathways, but if you add in this sequential order which I have done, I'm sure you will very soon be an excellent teacher, an excellent educator. Cheers. Bye bye, Dan. Thank you.